T-minus 3 days to what could be a pivotal point in the race for president. Both President Obama and Mitt Romney have stopped campaigning this weekend, instead burrowing deeply into some hardcore debate prep, cramming their facts and honing their one-liners. It's your voice, your vote with just 37 days left to the election, and ABC's David Kerley, who usually joins us from Washington, is with us here at the desk this morning. Good to see you, sir.
Nice to be here. You know, Dan, this is a really big debate. This is going to be part performance, part policy. The stakes are always high. But for Mitt Romney, some are saying it is make or break. And for the president, leading in the polls, it's a matter of not letting his challenger back into the race.
President Obama is in Nevada this morning, where he'll spend the next 3 days in debate camp, reportedly at this posh resort in Henderson. And he heads into the debate with the latest Gallup tracking poll still showing Mr. Obama holding a lead. This morning, it's 6 points.
This is the ball game for Mitt Romney right now, because if he doesn't do well at this debate, it's going to be very hard for him to get back in this race.
Both candidates have checklists, do's and don'ts for Wednesday's debate. Mitt Romney has to avoid appearing detached, that he can't relate to average Americans. His to-do list? The 3 C's. Show some compassion, that he's competent, and that he can indeed connect to voters.
All 3 of those things he's suffered over the last couple of months, especially the last couple of weeks. So on those 3 C's, that's where he's got to really do well.
While they lead in the polls, Team Obama knows the debates can be a game changer. So the president will have to look strong and forceful, not passive. And he needs to avoid appearing irritable or impatient. And don't be long-winded.
They're trying to get him into the mode of being able to answer questions short, concisely, and to the point. And so it's much more of like his mannerisms, his style, and the way he comes across.
The pressure is on for this first debate, and it could be a huge audience. Anywhere between 50 to 65 million people may actually tune in to see these two men face off on Wednesday night.
All right, we'll be covering it right here on ABC. David, thank you.
Great to see you live, David. And let's bring in the host of ABC's This Week, George Stephanopoulos, also live for more on this. So the goal really Wednesday night is for each candidate to focus on the other's weaknesses,
No
right?
question about it. Although after seeing Ron Claiborne's piece, I think it's to avoid a Justin Bieber moment
Yeah.
on stage
Well,
more than
that
anything
would be
else.
something
But that's right. But I think obviously there's much more pressure, as David said, on Mitt Romney. He's going into this behind. He's got to force an error out of President Obama, because he wants to dominate the coverage coming out of the debate so he can get some momentum. That will mean he has to, on the one hand, be very tough and putting the pressure on President Obama, but at the same time, he can't afford to appear mean or, as David said, aloof. So he's going to be having a very tough balancing act on Wednesday night.
And how much pressure is he under right now, Mitt Romney?
Huge, huge. He is behind right now. He is behind nationally. He is behind in all the battleground states. This is the last big audience that Mitt Romney is going to have with about 4.5 weeks left to go. Remember, by the time we get to the third debate in late October, in the battleground states, you could have had already, because of this early voting, a third of the voters with votes already in the can.
And so far, the polls at least indicate that Mitt Romney hasn't been able to capitalize on the economy right now. Do you think he can do that with regards to foreign policy? It seems to be a surprising weakness now for the president with what's going on in the Middle East, and now this tragic landmark now we have in Afghanistan as well.
That's right, the 2000s death. The president also facing a lot of questions about the death of American Ambassador Stevens in Benghazi. And you saw Mitt Romney trying to do that over the weekend. But the way he's going to win this race is if he convinces those undecided voters that he's got the better answers on the economy. That is still issue number 1, 2, and 3.
It's going to be something you're